Welcome to Tough Conversations with David Wood, where play meets depth. We help teams and high-performing leaders like you to master your tough conversations so you succeed in your career and in your life. When we avoid tough conversations, we stay small. Teams stay disengaged, conflicted, and ultimately end up quitting. When we lean in and master our tough conversations, they become the defining moments that literally shape our careers, our relationships, and our lives. So let's dive in and master your next tough conversation so you can be the leader that you would follow. Let's play.
And of course he wants to talk because I'm not threatening to move out.
Yeah.
So that was huge.
Wonderful. Welcome to another episode with our live Zoom role plays. Every week we do a Zoom call where people can join for free and role play their tough conversations. And every now and then we'll pick one and I'll publish it as an episode. I was really touched by this one. The pseudonym or fake name she's going by is Iron Man. And I will summarize it, but we'll jump over the part where I did discovery and I asked some questions, and we'll pretty much go to where I summarize what's happening. In a nutshell, he thinks she's cheating. She's thinking of leaving. He might be kicking her out of the house. It's really a charged situation. And then I was really moved during the role play, and I loved what was coming out of my mouth, and there were some tears. So let's dive straight in. And I want to give a plug for the Zoom call. I'd love you to join us on that. If you'd like to come and role play your conversation, playforreal.life/Zoom register is where you can register for that call. Let's dive in and see what happens. All right, let me summarize this, what I got so far, and tell me if I got it. So we're calling you Iron Man. That's your pseudonym, which I like. And the issue, what happened is your partner sent you a text message inviting you to have midday sex. You responded with, geez, where did this come from? He didn't take it well. And that combined with something else has him thinking that you're cheating. You have a history of cheating, and you feel hopeless and heartbroken. And your hope is that there'll be some eye-opening experience, that you'll feel loved and supported, that he'll be totally on board to helping you feel loved and supported, and that you guys can stay together forever. Secondary hope is you get some clarity that this is going to end. You can do that lovingly, but you don't want to stay on the fence.
Yes.
Yeah. Did I see the wiping of a tear?
No, I think I've cried so many tears over these last 8 days. It's odd, but I was like, I can't cry anymore.
Yeah.
It has been a really long 8 days, and I am just like almost so tired of not being able to sleep or breathe or eat, So I'm actually not crying today.
Got it. So this has been very intense, and you're looking forward to some resolution either way. And the fear or concern is that you might get kicked out of the house.
Yeah, but I'm not going to let that happen. So
okay,
he's going to try to do that, and he's going to get mad, and he's going to scream. And I even told him when I invited him to the talk, my fear is that you're going to scream and intimidate, or you're not going to listen to me, and you're going to shut me out and not hear me out.
Oh, great.
I used your template. When is a good time over the next week? I did say over the next week, which I should have said over the next 24 hours, but I did say when's the time over the next week you can give me some time so we can clear that. My hope is that we'll have a better working relationship.
All right. So I love that you've done the worksheet. I love that you've gotten clarity on this. This is great. And for listeners, you can download the worksheet at playforreal.life. There's a 4-step blueprint you can download. And the fear is that he might scream or not listen. He might try and kick you out. And I like that you caught yourself. You asked permission to have the call, and you said over the next week, but that might leave you hanging for a week. I like to like over the next hour, when's good for you that we can talk.
Yeah, well, the girl who introduced me to your podcast, she said, any news? She texted me last night, any news? And I said, nada. And she said, no judging, Iron Man, but like what, how long are you going to give him to wait? If this was your boss, how long would you give her to respond to a request for a meeting? I said 48 hours. So this morning was 48 hours and absolutely no response from him whatsoever. And so I started texting him, what's up? Why are you not responding to me? And he just is not responding. He's just still not responding.
Yeah. So that's a separate area about how to get the person to a yes. We might be able to cover that too. So let's do a role play. I'm going to be you, and I'm going to use this information to try and artfully model the 4 steps. And you be, let's give a pseudonym to your partner. So what's his name?
Let's just call him Harry.
All right, we'll call him Harry. All right, so this is between Iron Man and Harry. And the 4 steps that I'm going to attempt to model are: 1, ask permission; 2, share 1 hope and 1 fear. And I sometimes blend that with step 1, which you'll see. 3, share the issue, make a request. And then 4, get curious and listen. So we're going to do that, and you get to be however you think Harry's going to be. This is your chance to actually scream, well, save my ears, but you can get angry, and you can, if you want to kick me out of the house, just whatever feels natural for Harry, you can do, and that'll give you a chance to see how someone else might deal with it.
Okay.
And I'll preface this by saying this template works well unless the other person has a lot of charge. If the person has a lot of charge and they're not listening, one of the pro tips on the download is we might need to switch roles, and I might need to listen for a bit so that he can get it all out. If he doesn't have the space to listen to me, I'll try, but if he doesn't, I'll switch and listen to him until he's ready to listen to me. And that might be required in this role play, or it might not. All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll start with the request, and he hasn't been getting back to me. So I might call, and let's assume he picks up. So, hi, Harry.
Yep.
Hi. I just realized I'm really suffering here. I'm really, this is a real ride for me, and I'm learning a lot. And I so want to be in connection with you. And I've gotten some clarity, and there's some things I want to apologize for. And I wonder if you'd be open to a conversation so I can apologize and get connected with you.
Oh, well, I thought you were going to threaten to move out of the house or something. So if you're wanting to apologize, of course, I would love to listen to that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I want to apologize, and I want to share some feelings, and I have a request as well. My hope, I'll tell you my hope and my fear, in reverse order. My fear or concern is that you might get angry with me and that you might yell. That's hard for me. And also, as I was going through this, I was like, what if he doesn't listen to me? And also that you might ask me to leave and not want me in the house anymore. So those are the things that I'm afraid of. And my hope is that we might have an eye-opening experience, feel really deeply connected. And I have a dream and desire that we're together for life. That's my hope. And my hope is that we find a way that we can both feel loved and supported.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So I wrote down some notes, and let me stumble through it. And just, if you could just give me some space to try and say it. I might mess it up a little bit, but I'm going to give it a shot. And then I'm going to ask you I want to hear everything you've got to say in response. Okay.
Okay.
So firstly, I am so sorry. You sent me a wonderful invite to have midday sex. I think our relationship could use that. I could use it, for God's sake. You took a risk, you were vulnerable, and I didn't handle it well. I had my own stuff come up, and I wish I could have a do-over for that. So I want to thank you for the invite, and just say I'm sorry about how I handled it. It was a really nice offer.
Thank you. I was very vulnerable saying that, and I know that you took it the wrong way, because you thought it was. You had said that you thought it was almost, pornographic, and I really maybe I screwed up too, because what I was trying to invite you to was something that was really going to be all about you, Iron Man, and I think you took it the wrong way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did. I didn't trust it. It was like out of left field, and I didn't trust it. I was like, I want to trust it, and I do want attention and intimacy. And I was just like, whoa, like buy me a drink first.
Yeah.
Need a little warming up.
Yeah.
But I do want to acknowledge the impetus and the invite, and I want more of that in our relationship. So you did the right thing.
Good. I'm glad you see that, because I myself have felt really rejected ever since you responded that way.
I bet. Yeah. So I'll try and get better at it, and maybe we can learn together. This is new for me too, to like get a midday sex offer. Like maybe we can learn together, like what are some ways that I can respond to better, and so that we can have great midday sex.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing I want to say is I want to be with you, and I want us to talk more about how you can feel loved and supported. I want to talk more about feeling loved and supported. I think there's some work maybe that we can both do on that. And I'm hoping you want that with me. And I realize there's a chance you may not. And you brought up the idea that I might be cheating on you. I don't blame you. I've cheated before, so I understand it. It could really take something to earn your trust. I want you to know that I'm not cheating. That's not what's happening. And I wonder, my request is that you show me how I can earn your trust. Would you have a think about that and see if you can come up with something that I can do to demonstrate my integrity now? Because it's really important to me that I show up for you.
Yeah, I could try, but I mean, you've given me, 20 years of your life. I mean, I'm trying to think of what you could actually do to make me, I'm thinking, as for me, what else can I do? I've given him 20 years of my life, so I'm just imagining, what would he even say? So I can't even imagine what he would say.
Yeah, and it's a good question. So Harry, I would hope that the fact that I've been with you for 20 years would say something. I would hope that would be enough, and you're the only one who can decide what will generate trust. Now, if you decide that trust is not repairable, then I'd like to know that too, so that we can lovingly disentangle and lovingly transition to another kind of relationship, maybe a friendship. But I can't live in limbo. I say, let's go for it 100%, and we'll both do the work, or let's part ways and say, all right, it's not going to work. I need to know one way or the other. So would you be willing to, you can tell me now, or if you want to have a think about it, I'd ask you to think about it for less than 24 hours, because it just kills me to be wondering and waiting. It's like a torture. So do you want to think about it for a little bit, or do you already know which way you'd like to go?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to think about it, because, Iron Man, we've had a lot of ups and downs in this marriage, and we have been together for 20 years, and part of me is, I can't imagine my life without you, and I can't imagine a better mother to my children. and right at this moment, I just can't imagine what else for you to do to prove your trust. And to be honest, the first thing that's coming up is that I feel like I might have some trust issues, and I've never been willing to do the internal work to get to the bottom of my demons because of all the psychological trauma in my past. And so it's almost like I'm feeling like my brain won't even let me come up with a solution.
Well, that's beautiful. Let's pause it there. If we were to continue the role play, I'd go to step 4, which is just really listen and say, how is it for you to hear this? And what else do you want to share? I want to hear anything you've got to say, and let him unpack it, which he was just starting to do beautifully. So let's stop it there. And I'm wondering, how is that for you?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is that, the way that you approached it from the beginning was just so loving. I mean, the fact that you said, I want to lovingly have this conversation, and you actually said my hope, which I feel silly sometimes for having this hope, because I feel like there's so much damage in the relationship. How in the world could I have the hope that we are going to actually stay together until death do us part? But I do. Like, my mom and dad got divorced after 40 years of marriage, and I don't want that to happen to me. So, I mean, like, every Friday night I have dinner with my mom and some other man. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So for my children. And so that is my biggest hope. So the fact that you had me come into the talk assuming like this great solution, which is to stay together, that completely disarmed him, And of course he wants to talk because I'm not threatening to move out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was huge.
Wonderful. So to double click on what you said, I was feeling loving. I was feeling like there's possibility here, and I want to repair, and I'm standing in my dignity, which is I need to know either way, this is what I want, this is my hope. And if you're not up for that, then I need to know so we can do the other one. And I'm here to work that out with you so we can work out the best way to go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you for this, because I see another way to approach it. So I really appreciate it.
Okay, let's stop it there. I loved that with Iron Man. So beautiful to just be able to access love, right? It's not always easy to do, but someone said to me recently, if you can't speak it with love, compassion, and respect, then don't speak it at all. And I think you could hear it had a real impact on her, the participant. And, I hope she has a really good result from that conversation. If you'd like to join us in our free weekly Zoom call, go to playforreal.life/Zoom register. Here's a quick update from Iron Woman herself. She writes to me saying, and we had the big talk today, David. I was scared, but I worked off our script, our role play, and it went great. I said everything I wanted to say, and I heard him out. He said some things I would never have known he felt unless I disarmed him with the frame you taught me. Thank you so much, Iron Man. So it doesn't always turn out perfectly or wonderfully. That's not what it's all about. It's about us speaking our truth. But it's nice when it does. You've been listening to Tough Conversations with David Wood. Now it's action time. Mastering your tough conversations will have a major impact on your team, your company, and you as a high-performing executive or entrepreneur. If you're ready, request a discovery session with me at playforreal.life so we can transform your team, your company, and you. And if you've enjoyed this episode, I would love you to help me spread this message of tough conversations in a very simple way. Just leave a public review at playforreal.life/podcast. And you may hear me read it out loud and thank you live on a future podcast. Now, let's play.